Well, good morning, TikTok. This is Pastor Jay here. I just wanted to take a moment and just share with you my story. Just a little bit of a testimony in my own personal life. In 2019, around the first of the year, it started the end of 2018. But going into 2019, I started to notice I went to the doctor and my hemoglobin level was low. It was like a 7. And I think it's supposed to be like maybe 14 or something like that. And my doctor recommended that I go to to get a colonoscopy. And I wondered, why colonoscopy? At the time, I was age 34. And I never really had any medical issues. No really, I was on high blood pressure medicine, but that was it. But he recommended that I go for a colonoscopy. I was wondering, why? What's a colonoscopy? I didn't even know what that is. And he was like, well, we just want to have things checked, and it checks down in your colon. For, make sure there's no issues or anything. I was like, okay, well, no big deal. And so I was like, all right. And the doctor asked me, he was like, did you notice any blood in your stool? And I was like, who looks at that stool? No, not really. I guess I thought it was something, from eating something red or something like that. And so I was like, okay, colonoscopy, okay, whatever that is. So I thought, he said, well, you're not even supposed to even have those screenings until you're over 50 or whatever. So we don't think it's anything that'll cause any harm, but we just want to do it to, rule out that there's nothing else going on that's concerning. And I was like, concerning? What would be concerning going on with me that has to do with my stool or whatever? What is that? So I didn't really think much of it. And so we got this colonoscopy thing set up, and they was told about the prep for it and all of that. I was like, what in the world? So I was, working every day, working full time. For the most part, I felt okay. I was feeling good. Just every now and then, I hadn't even noticed anything with my stool or whatever. That wasn't really an alarm bell or anything for me. And so I went for this colonoscopy, and we went through the prep process and all of that. And I was like, what in the world? This is silly. So it was like, yeah, usually things don't happen at my age anyway, when you take the colonoscopy, but your doctor just recommends that you do it. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So we go and we take it. I'm in the process. So now later I'm put under anesthesia, and I go through with the colonoscopy, and the doctor comes back in the room when it's over with, and my sister was there with me, and he said, Mr. Stephenson, and I go, yes, and he said, well, I've been doing this a long time, and I was looking at your test. I did your colonoscopy, and it looks like that we have something going on, and I've been doing this long enough to know it when I see it. He said, and it's colon cancer. My life changed forever at that moment. I said, wait a minute, it's what? And he said, it's colon cancer. And so at the moment, I looked over at my sister, and she had tears coming down her face. And I said, but doc, I'm only 34 years old. How did I get that? And he said, well, one thing you got to do, you're going to have surgery, and you're going to have to maybe have some treatment for a while or whatever. And I stopped. I said, whoa. I said, I'm a pastor. I work. I'm only 34. This doesn't make sense. Why would this happen to me? And he said, I don't know. I don't have a lot of the answers, but we're going to take care of it. There's a lot of treatment and everything for it. And we believe you'll be okay. You'll live a normal life. We can't tell really what stage it is or anything like that. You have to go to another doctor for a follow-up to really, figure out what's going on. And I said, okay, I guess this is it. I don't know. I was like, okay, God, is this it? Is this it for me? Is this how it's going to go out? I haven't even done things I wanted to do. My kids are still young, and my wife wasn't even there with me, and my sister called her, and then I was talking. No one expected for the outcome of this test to be this way. No one expected for it to be colon cancer, any kind of cancer. You have to know, as a musician, I played organ and we sang and stuff in the choir for years. I've been doing that, and I've sang to many, many funerals of people who had that scary C word, cancer, any kind of cancer. So to me, I didn't see anything past cancer. I didn't see nothing past it. But, I went to another doctor, and they determined it was stage 3. And it was in the sigmoid colon, so they had to have surgery. So I had surgery, and they removed it. And then they said there was some in my lymph nodes, and a few of them. So they recommended some chemotherapy, and I took chemo for about 6 months. My body changed some, and chemo was hard. It wasn't what I expected. Wasn't as bad as I thought, though. But I preached. I went to church on the weeks that I didn't have it. I had it every other week. So the weeks I didn't have it, I felt like a million. I would go to church. Many people that was a part of my ministry at that time would tell you, I preached every Sunday. I felt it. Even the Sundays I had chemo, I had it on for like Monday to Thursday. By the time Sunday hit, I felt good. And so I preached. I preached through that thing. Then I went through the chemotherapy, and the kind of chemo I had it on my side. I had to walk around with it on my side in a pack, and it was connected to the ports on me, whatever. So here I was, 34, 35 years old, with colon cancer, taking chemotherapy. It was scary. I didn't know how to look at life at that point. I couldn't see past the mountain of colon cancer. But I got through the cancer treatment, and that was in 2019, 2020. I went through that. It was scary, but trust me, God is a healer. And he brought me through those many years ago. And it still takes me, and it makes me emotional, because I knew then that I had an assignment on my life. And when there's an assignment on your life, you can't die until you complete it. You can't. You can't. And you have to complete it. And it will, you will get discouraged. But trust me, I know God is a healer, and I know what he can do. And I just wanted to share this because it's the end of March and it's colon cancer awareness month. And I want those of you to know, do not let the doctors determine when you have your screening for colon cancer. It can strike at any age, whether you're old or young. But do me a favor, go get your colonoscopies early. Whatever year they call for it, do it 10 years earlier than that. If you have it in your family, do it even earlier than that. So you can stay ahead of this thing. God is a healer, but we got to always be aware and be vigilant about taking care of ourselves and getting screening for all these different cancers and stuff. Times are different, and many young people are getting diagnosed with cancer, but let me encourage you, even if you have a diagnosis right now, just know that God is a healer. He still heals. He still sets free. And he can still do what feels impossible. at the time. You're bigger than a diagnosis. Your God is bigger than that. And he still has healing power. And he can heal you just like he did me. Now, I'm looking at 2025. I've got plenty to live for. I have my own business. God has just blessed me beyond measure. I relocated. I wouldn't have never thought that I would do that. But going through that cancer, it teaches me, it shows me that we stress over crazy things. And every day is a privilege, not a right. You don't have a right to live every day. But every day that he gives you is a privilege. So what are you doing with your privilege? Are you living for you? Are you living for everybody else? Or you just letting life pass by? But I want to encourage you today to stop just existing and live. Start living. Start living. When you do that, you will see that God is bigger and better than anything you ever thought in your mind. So I just want to share my testimony. God bless you. And I hope it was a blessing to you. And share it with somebody if you can. If it may can help you along the way. God bless you. Thanks for listening.